Gary Glitter's neighbors are scared pedo could move back to posh flat and blast release as a disgrace. NEIGHBOURS of serial child abuser Gary Glitter are scared he'll crawl back into his posh multi-million-pound flat, as they blasted his release. Sicko Glitter was freed from HMP The Vern under the cover of darkness on Friday morning after an 8-year stretch. Neighbors of serial child abuser Gary Glitter are scared he'll crawl back into his multi-million-pound London flat. The twisted 78-year-old, real name Paul Francis Gadd, was caged in 2015 for attempted rape and 4 counts of indecent assault. He also had sex with a girl under 13, and his youngest victim was less than 10 when he crept into her bed and tried to rape her in 1975. Now out, residents near his top-floor London flat in a posh Victorian red brick mansion block are terrified and have blasted his release. A mum of 2, who lives directly across the road from Glitter's lair, told The Sun Online the menace should never have been released. She said, "I had no idea he used to live here. That is extremely worrying. It's a disgrace he has been let out at all. That is shocking." She now fears for her 2 young kids who play on the road, just feet from the Rock and Roll Part 2 singers' hovel. The vacant flat, thought to be worth £2 million, has not been in his name since he was arrested in Vietnam in 2006. Records show it is conveniently controlled by a former associate through a company. Residents in the other 223 flats say the apartment, near Baker Street, has laid empty during his incarceration. Glitter was arrested at the address in an early morning raid nearly a decade ago. No idea he was out. One resident who lives on the same floor was unaware of the monster's links to their new home. They said, "We have just moved in, so didn't know about any of this." That is very scary. And a shocked nanny for a family on the road said it's crazy that Glitter is free to roam around their neighborhood. They added, "Very scary. It's scary to think I could be walking past with the kids on the way home. I had no idea he was out." If he does move back in, everyone on the road should be told. Despite fears, Glitter is unlikely to move back into the house anytime soon, as he will be held in a halfway house first. It is believed the serial pedo has been fitted with a GPS ankle tag. Glitter's fall from grace began in 1997 when he took a laptop into a Bristol branch of PC World for repair. An engineer found child abuse images on the hard drive. 2 years later, the singer was jailed for 4 months after a total of 4,000 images were found by police in a subsequent investigation. Glitter emigrated on release, before being kicked out of Cambodia in 2002 amid claims of committing sex crimes. 4 years later, he was jailed in neighboring Vietnam for molesting 2 girls, one aged just 10. He escaped serious charges of child rape, which carried a death sentence, and returned to the UK in 2008. Glitter was forced to sign the sex offender register, but he was arrested once again in 2012 at his multi-million-pound home in Westminster. Police would later describe him as a habitual sexual predator who took advantage of the star status afforded to him. And in 2015 he was convicted of attempted rape, 4 counts of indecent assault and 1 of having sex with a girl under 13 in the 1970s and 1980s. Glitter's about cops called to freed sex offender pop star Gary Glitter's bail hostel after vigilantes storm grounds. Cops were called to the bail hostel where sex offender pop star Gary Glitter is held after vigilantes climbed gates and stormed the grounds. Angry locals arrived yesterday when the location was shared on social media and screamed abuse at those leaving. Police were called at Gary Glitter's bail hostel after vigilantes climbed gates and stormed the grounds. They shouted "Watch out, Glitter's about" at passing motorists and violently shook the gates. 2 men ran into the grounds when a gate was opened before security staff pounced. 1 later climbed the gate. 4 police cars arrived at the South of England site and talked to locals. Glitter, 78, was released from jail on Friday. A source said, "He's happy, but he won't be going outside for a while." Serial sex offender Gary Glitter's release makes a mockery of justice. A notorious monster is today back on the streets and once more posing a serious threat to our children. Gary Glitter has shown not 1 ounce of remorse during the last 8 years in prison. He has refused every attempt to engage him in sex offender treatment programs behind bars. But having served half his 16-year sentence for raping 3 girls under 13, he must, by law, be released into the community. Because he was sentenced to a fixed term inside, he did not have to go before the parole board. But parole chiefs can block a prisoner's release if they believe they still pose a risk to the public. Glitter, surely, comes into that category. Why, then, was he afforded the special treatment of being smuggled out of prison under cover of darkness? And how on earth has he ended up at a bail hostel close to children's playgrounds and with 10 schools nearby? Glitter has repeatedly laughed at the law. We fear it is only a matter of time before this habitual sex predator offends again, and causes yet more pain and misery to his victims. What a cruel mockery of justice this is.